Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today we have another horror movie review. We're reviewing another Koji Shiraishi movie who directed 2005's Noroi the Curse, and he also directed Cult 2013, which we reviewed. This time we're reviewing Occult 2019, which also stars Koji Shiraishi, where he plays himself in the movie. You also have a cameo by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, which it's the thing where like he's in the movie, he shows up and they're like, oh, he's a famous horror movie director, so I had to double check. And yeah, not only is he a famous horror movie director, but I actually seen one of his movies, Cure. And he also did a movie called Pulse, which I hear both those movies are good. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Pulse, but I have seen Cure, and Cure is a good movie. Good movie. I don't know if I would call it a horror movie, but I guess. The movie also stars Shoei Uno, Akira Takatsuki as Akira Wakatsuki. You got Horiken, which I have no idea who that is. Shinobu Kiribayashi as assistant director. Koen Kondo, Mika Azuma. So this movie apparently is based off a Lovecraft movie. Or sorry, not Lovecraft movie, a Lovecraft book. Though on Google they don't say which one. But I could definitely see the inspiration for Lovecraft. So the movie is basically another found footage movie where our director is like doing documentary about this mass stabbing event that happened at a mountain, right, on a rope bridge, like on a mountain. Like a guy showed up, stabbed and killed two girls, and carved this symbol on this dude's back, right? And when they start interviewing the different people, and they realize that there's some kind of supernatural thing going on. People who were there said they were told to be there through a voice, through their TVs and stuff like that. They've been seeing UFOs, and they start interviewing like the parents and stuff, and they realize, hey, the guy who was the mass stabber had this weird symbol on his body, and that like he's been ever since he was born, he's been obsessed with supernatural stuff, right? And then they start interviewing the guy that the guy who was there, who was attacked, who had like a symbol carved on his back. His name is Ano, who is this 30-something-year-old like temp worker, who's basically homeless, living in Tokyo, spending the nights at like manga cafes where you pay like a fee, and like you can just stay there overnight. Right. Which, man, I felt really sorry for the dude. The dude does his grocery shopping at 100 yen stores, which is basically dollar stores. Which I've seen people do grocery shopping at dollar stores before. It's not a pretty sight. Then again, I also shop at dollar stores because I like to buy like cheap snacks and stuff like that. Yeah. So as this is going on, they hire Ano and give him a camera, right? And they start following him around because like he keeps seeing weird stuff called what he calls them miracles, where like there'll be like weird like UFO looking things, and like giant balls of black string or hair or whatever, like black swirly things in the sky. Which and it turns out that they do some investigating into the mountain, they find this weird like tablet thing, which has like the killer's symbol on it and Ano's symbol on it, and like the dude's leg starts bleeding from when he had like 9 leeches. The director I'm talking about, his leg starts bleeding where he had like 9 leeches on his leg one time that he climbed up the mountain, and they do some investigation. They find out that the mountain is named after like this Japanese god who's like the son of like Izanami and Izanagi, if you know your Persona game, Persona 4 lore. Who's this like I think his name was Hiroko, who was this who's this like leech god or whatever, because like he was born without arms and legs, so like his body resembled like a leech. So like after that they talking with Ano, and it turns out he's planning a ceremony where he's going to basically kill a bunch of people. And our director finds out about this, was going to tell the other crew. Why he wouldn't just go to the police, I don't know. But then like supernatural shit starts happening to him. He sees like a giant white thing in the sky at night, and he sees like the ghost of the murderer whose body was never found. He jumped off after he stabbed a couple people. He jumped off the mountain, and his body was never found. So after that, he decides to help our Ano prepare for his bombing that he's planning on doing, right? And there's like a great scene where like the day of, before they do the bombing at the Shibuya train station, they hang out. They go to like bunch of places, restaurants and stuff. They go to an Indian cuisine place where like the guy is like, you know what India reminds me of? He's like, what? Indiana Jones? Indiana Jones? That's where he got his name from. India? No, it's like he got his name from the state. And then they because this movie takes place during 2008, that's the year the new Indiana Jones movie came out, like the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever. So they go to see Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and they both love it. And Ano's talking about how, like, you know, this makes him want to even, like, you know, watching the movie. This movie makes me want to even do it even more, right? But he's like it concretes his conviction to go off with the mass murder, which he doesn't think that when he does set off the bomb that it's not going to kill anybody. That he's been told by the god that he's been communicating with, which is the leech Japanese god Hiroko, that they're gonna all get transported into the new world, into the next world, right? And it's gonna be like heaven. It's gonna even be better than heaven because they're gonna be hanging out with the gods, right? So after that, which he goes through with it, and like the special effects for that wasn't too great because, like, you know, the camera was at a weird angle, so like you only see like one dead body and like some dust. So after that, spoiler alert, if I'm gonna give this movie a rating, I would say 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed the characters, and like the cameo of Kiyoshi was cool, and the overall tone for the movie was great. Now I'm going to go into spoilers. Alright, so like after that, the Koji Shiraishi goes to jail for 21 years. Meets up with his old producer. They go to like a barbecue place where they're like, you know, eating food. They're talking about how like All the barbecue places are gonna shut down because while Koji was in prison for 21 years, which would make it 21 years in like 2008 would make it uh, 2029 or something like that. Yeah, so it's 2029 at that point. Um, yeah, so like yeah, they're talking about how like basically mad cow disease, which I guess was a hot topic back in 2008. I don't remember. But yeah, mad cow disease basically killed like 100,000 people in Japan. And the Ano character, they mentioned how Ano was worried, or sorry, there's a scene where Ano's like, yeah, he avoids beef because of mad cow disease, even though there's a scene where they go to a restaurant and he's eating steak, but whatever, right? So after that, like, you know, while they're hanging out at the barbecue place, a camera and a 100 yen coin drops onto like next to Koji, and they check the tape, and then like they see a vision of Ano in the other realm screaming in pain for help, and like you basically, it's like a green screen, and you see like these floating heads like spinning around, and like limbs going around. It looked really fucking bad, to be honest. And you have the one like Ano's coworker at the tent place warned him that knew what he was going to do, and was warning him, it's hell, it's not gonna, whatever you're doing, it's not gonna, you know, turn out right, turn out all right. So it turns out that he was right, and the character and everybody who was caught up in the blast is being tortured in this realm that the god lives, right? Which concept wise is great, but the visuals just looked really shitty and silly, to be honest, in my opinion. I just dropped some change because I'm going to go to fuck. God damn it. That sucks. Whatever. That's why you shouldn't play with money while you're, like, you know, recording videos. So I would say, as a Lovecraft fan, I really loved this movie. I thought the tone was great, the character was great, and the idea that, you know, that you have this character who's manipulate, well, not just the one character, but a bunch of characters manipulated by a supernatural entity into committing like a heinous act. I thought that was a cool concept, and I really enjoyed the movie, hence why I gave it a 7 out of 10. But like, yeah, it's the thing where this movie would have been a lot better if it had like more of a budget. And like it almost would have been way better if it didn't even have the found footage, like the found footage, you know, if it didn't have the found footage, you know, format, because like, you know, it would have been like, we would have gone to like to see like a better you know, interpretation of the, like, you know, the one character in the god's realm where he's being tortured. So like, I don't know, it's the thing where this movie, like I said, would have been better if it had better budget. And like, I thought the special effects were bad, but I would say if you don't mind bad special effects, the movie is a good movie, and I really enjoyed it. So hence the 7 out of 10. And I definitely want to check out more Koji Shiraishi movies, though I don't want to watch his torture porn movie, which grotesque, because yeah, I'm not into that. But yeah, he also has another 2 found footage movies that he did, which one is called Teke Teke if I remember correctly, which came out, when did that movie come out? And then there's 2014's, oh, Teke Teke, came out 2009. Holy crap, he did like 4 movies that came out in 2009. This guy likes to work. Yeah, A Record of Sweet Murder. It's a 2014 movie, which is not on YouTube. It's not available to rent, so unfortunately I won't be able to watch the movie. This movie sounds cool. It's basically like it takes place in like Korea, and it's basically about like um these Korean guys are like, you know, filming this weird Japanese dude that lives, I think that lives like in their apartment building or something, and they think he's like a serial killer. At least that's what I think the movie is about. I could be having it mixed up with another movie. But yeah, that movie sounds interesting. Can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna have to order it probably though. All right, guys, that's it for this review. Probably should have done a second take, but you know how we are.